Hello everyone, and welcome back to another GIS statistics tutorial video. And in this video, I want to cover the concepts of quartiles. The concept of quartiles, right? And we've kind of already talked about quartiles a little bit, not explicitly in the terms of quartiles, when we talked about median, because what the median in it is actually the value of the second quartile. And typically what you're going to see with quartiles most often is the first, second, third, and fourth quartile. And quartiles basically break ordered data into groups of nearly equal numbers of observations. Right, and as I said before, right, the median was just the second quartile, and we sort of said the median is the number that is in the middle of an ordered data set. So you can think of the median as splitting the data into two separate groups that have roughly equal observations. Right. Well, we can take that a step further. We can do multiple quartiles, right? We can do multiple quartiles. Right. So you can have, typically you're going to have something like Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Right, so Q1 is going to, so Q2 we said this is the median, and this is the middle observation of the data set, of the ordered data set, right, of the ordered, that's really a handwriting, O-R-D-E-R-E-D, ordered data set. Right, well, Q1, right, this is just the median of the lower half, right? So this is the median of the lower half. And Q3, right, you can think of that as the median of the upper half. Right. In Q4, this is just the maximum of the data set. And we typically aren't going to worry too much about Q4. We're not going to worry about this too much. But these three, Q1, Q2, and Q3, you're going to see pop up a lot. So we know that Q2 is n plus 1 over 2, right? And this gives you the observation number of the median. Right? But what if we wanted to get Q1? Right? What if we wanted to get Q1? What would we do? Well, the median of the lower half would be half of a half. So the median of the lower half would be, let me do this over here, right? So if the median is n plus 1 over 2, right, the index of the lower half, right, the median of the lower half would be n plus 1 over 2 times 1/2, right? Because that is the value of the lower half of, that is the observation number of the that is the observation number of the first quartile. So if you do the math on that, right, that becomes n plus 1 over 4. Right, so that's n plus 1 over 4. And then Q3, right, we can do sort of the same sort of thing, right? If we're going halfway to get to the second quartile, we would be going 3/4 of the way to get to the third quartile. So that would look something like 3 over 4, or 3n plus 1 over 4. Right, hopefully this makes sense. So let's go ahead and let's look at this in practice. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll down. I've got some example numbers here. This is an ordered data set. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So our n is going to be equal to 9. We have 9 observations. All right, so our Q1. Actually, let's do Q2 first. Q2 is going to be equal to n plus 1 over 2, because we want to go halfway along the data set. Right, so that's going to be equal to 9 plus 1 over 2, and that's going to be equal to 10 over 2, which is going to be equal to 5. So again, our median is going to be the fifth number, so we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is going to push us right here, so this is our median, or our Q2. So let's do Q1. So Q1 we said was n plus 1 over 4, and that's going to be equal to 9 plus 1 over 4, which is going to be equal to 10 over 4, which is going to be equal to 2.5. Now, as we said before, right, our numbers here, when you have a fraction as the observation number, you have to take the average. So you would go 1, 2, 2.5. Well, we don't have one, so we would look at both of these numbers, and in which case they're both 11. So our median would be, or our first quartile would be 11 plus 11 over 2, which is going to be equal to 11. So 11 is going to be our Q1. And then our Q3, right, we said that was 3n plus 1 over 4, which is going to be equal to 3 times 9 plus 1 over 4, which is going to be equal to 3 times 10 over 4, which is going to be equal to 30 over 4, which is going to be equal to 7.5. And again, we have this half number here, so we would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to look at the 7th number and the 8th number, and we're going to end up with having to do 19 plus 20 over 2, which is going to be equal to 19.5, and this 19.5 is going to be our Q3. So hopefully that makes sense. And as always, if something doesn't make sense, please reach out. Thank you.